Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. Doing my first post-game live stream. The Miami Heat just lost to the Orlando Magic 125-121 in Orlando. The NBA season is officially back, and I'm not happy that the Miami Heat lost this game, obviously, but it was a pretty exciting game. The Miami Heat actually played really well. It was a fun, entertaining game, high scoring game. The Miami Heat scored 121 points after last season averaging 109 points per game, being a bottom three scoring team. So for them to be able to score this much was exciting, but it didn't really matter because they still ultimately lost. They ultimately lost another clutch game. So the trend and the theme of the past 5 seasons continues, where the Miami Heat continue to blow fourth quarter leads. So at least today, for this first game of the season, they didn't have a third quarter. They actually outscored the Magic 26-21. So the Miami Heat were up by 12 points in the third quarter. So they actually played pretty well. In the fourth quarter, they were up by as much as 8 points per game and basically got out rebounded in the quarter and outscored, obviously, but a lot of the calls were going against them, which was unfortunate. So you got to give the Miami Heat some credit, obviously, playing without Tyler Hero. And that's pretty much it. I guess Kasparis Yakachonis wasn't available, but I don't imagine him really being in the rotation and in the lineup this early on in the season. So, yes, not having Hero out there was detrimental to this team, but still, a game the Miami Heat could have won. Not going to say they should have won it necessarily, but this was definitely a game they could have won. This would have been a big win for the Miami Heat playing against a division rival, if you want to call it that. I don't see the Miami Heat winning this division, but overall, a fun game. But I'm frustrated because Wendell Carter Jr. basically destroyed us in that fourth quarter with like 4 huge key offensive rebounds, which led to second chance opportunities. Obviously, he got that huge offensive rebound with 6 seconds left, got fouled, hit those 2 free throws, and put the Orlando Magic up by 4 points. And the Miami Heat ultimately didn't have a chance to tie the game after that. But it was an exciting game, like I said. And, I want to go through the players, obviously, and talk about who's trending up, whose stock is up. I don't think any player's stock is down after one game. And there's not many guys that played poorly, but I do want to recap and go through that. But in terms of the game itself, the first quarter was very interesting. Bam started off on defense guarding Paolo Banchero, played pretty well, and he didn't score a ton in that first half. Bam did a really good job defending him. Franz Wagner is who killed us. Like that guy, he had 24 points overall in the game, but he had 19 in the first half. And so he was someone we weren't able to stop. That front court that they have, 2 young up and coming stars, very versatile, very good footwork. Both can get to the rim, can finish in the paint, can hit the 3 ball. They were really tough. But in that first quarter, Norman Powell made his debut for the Miami Heat. He looked really good, obviously, scored a ton of points. But in that first quarter specifically, first shot of the game, he hit a 3. Second possession of the game, he gets fouled on a 3-point attempt. So he started off really hot in the first quarter. He had 9 points himself. Davion Mitchell, we'll get to him, of course, but in that first quarter, played with great pace, was getting to the paint. Obviously, they were double teaming once he got into the paint. So he did a ton of driving kicks and had some good assists to Bam Adebayo, to Powell, to Wiggins in that first quarter. He looked great. Bam looked really good in that pick and roll with both Davion Mitchell and Norman Powell in that first half. But Norm looks good. Excited that we have Norman Powell on this team. Essentially got him for free. So thank you to the Clippers for giving us Norman Powell, who is going to keep us afloat while Tyler Hero is out for the first month, perhaps, of the season. So in terms of the first guy that came off of the bench today, that was Jaime Jaquez Jr. So he was the sixth man coming off the bench, and I was a little surprised. But also, yeah, going back to the beginning though, first off, the starting lineup. So Nico actually did start, and Kel'el Ware came off the bench today. So the starting lineup was Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell, Wiggins, Bam, and Nico. And the first guy off the bench was Jaime Jaquez, and Jaime looked great. Like, he looks healthy. I think one of the biggest issues from last year, besides his role being slightly diminished, his minutes down, I think it was the fact that he was injured. He had the nagging groin injury and ankle injury, and he looks more explosive. His footwork is back. So Jaime looks to be a guy who's going to be one of our top 7 guys when Tyler Hero comes back in the rotation. And I'm happy for Jaime Jaquez Jr. Like, he looked really confident and had some really good plays. But he was the first guy that came off the bench. The second unit in the first quarter that came in at the end of the first quarter and basically started the second quarter was Drew Smith, Kel'el Ware, Simon Fontecchio. He obviously played very well. I was surprised that he came in so early. And we also then kept Davion and Wiggins with that unit. Eventually, Pelle Larsson came in, started the second quarter, but he didn't get that much rotation time. He got into foul trouble. He, in his first 2 minutes on the floor, he got 2 fouls, so he's still very handsy, very aggressive. But that second unit did not do anything for us offensively. That Drew Smith, Kel'el, Fontecchio, Pelle Larsson unit was just not great offensively. And in the second half, we saw Bam get staggered. So they had Bam or a Norman Powell with that second unit to give them more offensive firepower, or just a guy that they can go through. And so bench played okay, I guess, today. Like, there's a couple guys off the bench, but yeah, it's going to be tough to score consistently off of the bench. But anyway, the Miami Heat, again, they lose tonight in a game that I think that they should have won. And the Magic played great. Like, obviously, they are not a offensive minded team like the Miami Heat. They are more of a defensive minded team. So for the fact that we were able to put up 121 against one of the best defenses last year in the NBA, they were number 2 behind only the Thunder, was a good sign, I think, that we were able to put up 121 points. The big issue, though, again, in the fourth quarter was the offensive rebounds, and also just basically like playing ISO ball in the fourth quarter. Like, the ball movement stopped. We had a bunch of pick and roll driving kicks with Davion Mitchell in that first half that was working out really well, even in that third quarter. But in that fourth quarter, we started doing more ISO ball with Andrew Wiggins, with Norman Powell, and we just weren't able to sustain that lead. Again, the referees played a part. Like, they called, I think, a really bad charge on Norman Powell. Jalen Suggs took a charge. It was close, but I don't think they should have called that. The Orlando Magic got away with a few travels in that fourth quarter. But either way, good effort for the Miami Heat, but that doesn't really matter. Like it's all about winning, and the Miami Heat are off to the wrong start. They're 0-1. This would have been a huge road victory for the Miami Heat, but they weren't able to pull it off, which is unfortunate. But anyway, let's go through the box score and walk through the performances of some of the Miami Heat players. So Norman Powell, like I said, made his debut today. He looked really good, man. Like, not only is he able to hit, obviously, the 3-point shot, which is great. He shot 50%, 4 for 8 tonight from 3. He can get to the free throw line. He got to the free throw line 7 times. He was 6 for 7. He missed one big free throw in that fourth quarter with a few minutes left in the game. Unfortunately, he could have put the Miami Heat up by 2, missed the free throw, but still, he looked good. 28 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 9 for 19 from the field, and he had 1 block, 1 steal, 3 turnovers. So he is someone who is a 3-level scorer. He has a very quick first step, can get to the paint, can get to the free throw line, can hit that 3. I'm excited to see him play with Tyler Hero and see what that backcourt could look like. So good debut by Norman Powell. Happy that we were able to pull off that heist and acquire him from the Clippers. Davion Mitchell, dude is a dog. Happy we signed him to that 2-year extension. Happy we were somehow able to trade PJ Tucker for Davion Mitchell, which is crazy. So Davion Mitchell, 16 points tonight, 6 rebounds, 12 assists. That's what stands out the most. 12 assists. He was playmaking and distributing extremely well, setting up his teammates. And if he can continue to improve as a playmaker and as a passer, that's going to unlock this offense because we don't have a true point guard, a true floor general, a true playmaker really outside of Tyler Hero. And Tyler Hero isn't a point guard himself. So we need someone outside of Tyler to create opportunities. And Davion Mitchell did that. 12 assists is huge. 7 for 15 from the field, super efficient. 2 for 6 from 3. Didn't get to the free throw line, but he had 1 block, 2 steals, and only 1 turnover, and that was in the fourth quarter. So up until the third quarter, he had 0 turnovers. So that assist to turnover ratio, freaking amazing, impeccable. He is obviously someone that I'm excited that we have, and I'm happy that he's starting. Like, honestly, my opinion, I think when Tyler Hero comes back and is healthy, I think you start Davion and Tyler Hero and you bring Norm off the bench. Like, we need more firepower off of this bench. We'll get into that. Like, Hawkes and Fontecchio played well today, but they're not going to be consistent because they're role players. So we need a star level type player to come off the bench because Davion makes more sense as a starter. One, because of his ability to facilitate, as we're seeing, that's growing and developing, but also because of his defense. Like, Norman Powell is a fine defender, but he's not the best defender. Tyler Hero is a cone, obviously, on defense. So we can't have 2 guys in our backcourt that can't really defend at a high level or defend the point of attack. And that's why we need Davion Mitchell to start, and that's why we need Norman Powell to come off the bench, in my opinion. Bam Adebayo. Interesting game for Bam. 15 points, 12 rebounds. So he got the double-double, 2 assists. Was aggressive in the first half. I liked watching Bam in the first half. He was very aggressive. He was getting to the free throw line. He had 7 free throw attempts. He was 6 for 7 from the free throw line, which is good. That's good. But the issue with Bam was he was aggressive in the first half, and the second half, he wasn't as aggressive. In the beginning of the third quarter, he was a little bit, and then afterwards, nowhere to be found. His back to the basket game, still non-existent. His hero ball isolation basketball attempts are not that great. Obviously, he still has the mid-range jumper. He was 1 for 5 from 3, 1 for 1 in the first quarter, then missed his next 4. So that isn't great as well. Like, we need Bam to shoot in the mid 30s at least, and we need him to hit at least a couple threes per game to spread the floor and create some spacing for Norman Powell and for Niko Jovic and Andrew Wiggins to get to the paint. But us not being able to finish in the paint is also going to be another issue. So that's going to be bad for this offense. That's why we need Tyler Hero back, who is another 3-level scorer that's going to help us when he's back. But Bam, just 4 for 13 from the field, not great. No blocks, no steals. He had 4 turnovers. So that was an issue as well. Like, turnovers in general, we'll get to for the team. But Bam, just, we need him to be more aggressive. Like, we need him to be more efficient. And we need him to be more dominant on mismatches. Like, that's an issue that he continues to face. But still, solid game defensively for Bam Adebayo, especially in that first half, guarding Paolo. Held him to like 13 points or so in the first half. Paolo, overall, I think he scored 24. Same as Franz Wagner. But yeah, Bam obviously played okay, but he's going to be a max player next season. So we need him to obviously play better. Like, you can't have 4 turnovers. You can't be shooting 4 for 13 from the field. So we need you to improve in that area. Andrew Wiggins, solid game from Andrew Wiggins. I think he played fine. If he plays like this throughout the year when Tyler Hero's back, then this Miami Heat team can win some games, which I think is going to help this Miami Heat team. He had 18 points this game, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 for 12 from the field, only 1 for 5 from 3, which wasn't great, but he did get to the free throw line also 7. He had 7 attempts, he was 5 for 7. He had 1 block, 1 steal, and only 1 turnover. So Andrew Wiggins in the first quarter was not aggressive. He was kind of just standing around. I don't think he even took a field goal in the first quarter. Second quarter started to cook. With that second unit, we needed someone to be aggressive with that second unit, with Drew Smith, with Kalal out there. So he was able to get to the paint, had a couple layups, had a couple nice mid-range turnaround, like fadeaway jumpers, which were huge. So Andrew Wiggins did look engaged at times throughout the game and was a little more aggressive than I thought he would be. So that was nice. Niko Jovic, not the best game for Nico, in my opinion. He looked good in that first quarter. Like, he came out strong and he had 8 points in that first quarter. He had 2 threes. He had a nice basket at the rim. He was trying to post up. He even tried to post up Paolo Banchero, and he pounded him a couple times. Like, he beasted him a few times in the paint and was able to get a nice attempt over him, but he didn't make it. But 8 points in the first quarter, only 1 more point throughout the rest of the game. So he finished with 9 points, 3 rounds, 0 assists, which is not great. Shot 2 for 6 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, 3 for 4 from the line, 1 steal. He had 3 turnovers, so it was a little turnover prone in that game. But I liked what I saw in that first quarter. I just need him to continue to be aggressive. We need him to continue to play with pace in transition and facilitate for his teammates. And he didn't really get to do that today. Jaime Hawkins Jr. played 30 minutes. Nico only played 23. He looked really good again. 13 points off the bench, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. He was 6 for 7 from the field, which I love to see. The only shot he missed was a 3-pointer. He's 0 for 1. 1 for 2 from the free throw line. He had 2 steals. Jaime looked aggressive. He looked engaged. He was moving well off ball. In the paint is where he's going to get most of his buckets. He had a beautiful spin, reverse pivot move in the paint on Paolo, finished at the rim. He had a couple mid-range jumpers, which I was happy to see. If he's hitting those mid-range jumpers, and if he can hit like those turnaround jumpers, that is huge. We don't want to see him shooting threes. Unless you're wide open, you should not be shooting threes. And I love the fact that Jaime was playing in the mid post. He was playing on the wing. He wasn't standing in the corners. He was getting the ball and operating in that mid post, which is exactly where we need him to be operating at. So that was good. He looks like he's going to have a bounce back year. So stock up for Jaime Hawkins Jr. Stock up for Simone, excuse me for saying that incorrectly, Simone Fontecchio. He looked really good. He was someone who came off the bench almost immediately as well. I was surprised and wasn't assuming that he was going to be in this first round of the rotations. I thought Pelle Larsson was going to have a bigger role in this game, but he played 4 minutes. Pelle Larsson played 4 minutes. Simone Fontecchio played 19 minutes. In 19 minutes, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. He was 6 for 9 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3. He had only 1 turnover. So he looked really solid. He was hitting mid-range shots. He was finishing in the paint, moving off ball. Like, we were doing some Duncan Robinson-like actions for him, which was nice to see. So he was a breath of fresh air. So happy to see Fontecchio play very well. Even though he only shot 1 for 3 from 3, it felt like he made more in the game than that. But he was shooting 33%, solid. The other 2 guys that actually played but didn't get a ton of time, Kel'el Ware, only 14 minutes, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 for 5 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, 1 block, 1 steal. We needed Kel'el Ware, I think, in that fourth quarter. I think Spo, when he closed out with the starters basically as his closing lineup in the final 5 minutes during clutch time. That's when Wendell Carter got those rebounds. Like, we needed Kel'el Ware in there as a 7-footer with the length, with the size that could have helped us get those defensive rebounds with Bam Adebayo. But for some reason, he didn't play. He was only a -2, so he wasn't the worst. Andrew Wiggins was actually a -21 in this game. Bam was a -2. Um, Powell was a +12, Davion +2, Nico was a +8 actually. But yeah, so I think Spo should have played Kel'el in that closing lineup because of the size that the Orlando Magic's front court has. I mean, they have Paolo, they had Wendell, they had Wagner. Like, they have a ton of guys that are huge, and they destroyed us on that offensive board in that fourth quarter. And Wendell Carter, like, basically was the guy who made us pay the most in that fourth quarter. Drew Smith, only 13 minutes, 2 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists, which is solid. He was 1 for 4 from the field, not great, but he had 1 steal. He is a dog on defense. He looked good defensively when he was in there. And him and Davion as our 2 defensive minded point guards, I'm not mad about that. I do like that. I do think that he should be in the rotation. Not having Terry Rozier in the rotation was a breath of fresh air, obviously. I was happy to not see Rozier in there. I'd rather see Drew Smith, honestly, out there because of his defense. But overall, you know, Miami Heat's pace looked a lot better. They were bottom 10 in pace last season. They pushed pace. They got into some actions early on. They had some good pick and roll opportunities. The big thing right now is we are missing Tyler Hero. We are missing Tyler Hero. That's going to be huge when he comes back. Again, I think I want to see Davion and Tyler start, and I want to see Norman Powell come off the bench with Jaime Jaquez and with Simone Fontecchio and with Drew Smith. Like, that's a solid 4-man rotation off the bench. Pelle Larsson, we were hoping he was going to take a leap and get an opportunity. I still think he will, and he has ample time to come off depending on matchups. But Norman Powell leading that second unit when Tyler Hero is back, I think is going to be huge. We need more firepower off of that bench. And if Jaime is going to be able to play in that mid post, you can have Drew Smith, in there as your quarterback, your game manager, if you will, and allow Norman Powell to get up as many shots as he wants. Like, his usage will be through the roof. We saw his usage tonight, which was huge. It's not going to be like that if Tyler Hero is starting. So I want to see him come off of the bench. So I'll take a look at the questions real quick before I do close out the show. Hans says 0-1, 81 to go. Martel, what's up, Martel? Hope you're doing well tonight. Florida boy, what's up, man? Good to see you on here. Powell is great. Still feel like we're going to do this all season, losing close games. Yeah, we haven't solved that issue with closing out games. Like again, last season, we lost so many clutch games. And last season was worse, though, because not only did we lose those clutch games, but we blew the most fourth quarter leads. I think we lost 17 times when we had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. I don't know if we had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. I know we were up by 8 in the fourth quarter. We were up by as much as 12 points in this game. We were in control of this game, the entire game, basically. And I don't think we were down more than like 4 points or 5 points this entire game. So clutch time is huge for this Miami Heat team. And we weren't able to hold on to a victory on the road, which would have been a very big victory for the Miami Heat against a division opponent. Less than minute to go. Why isn't Bam asking for the ball? Sorry, but I'm so over Bam. Bam, again, shied away. Like, wasn't aggressive in that fourth quarter. Thank God for Norm Powell, who was aggressive. Andrew Wiggins also, hit a huge 3 with like a minute or so to go. He was looking aggressive, came down, took another 3 when we were down by 2 to potentially put us up by 1, missed it. But Bam Adebayo, like, that's just not who he is. He's not an offensive-minded guy. He's our most important guy. He is our leader. He's our captain. He's one of the best defenders in the entire NBA. But yes, he's not going to be the guy that we go-to in clutch time. Like, he will be in some games, but we need Tyler and we need Norm to be our closers. Bam simply isn't going to be that guy. We need him to be more aggressive throughout the rest of the game. And, there's moments where he is aggressive and there's moments where he's not going to be. So he is who he is. That's not going to change. Jay Miami Sports says team looked good with the pace, but Spo, like always, makes the fourth quarter small lineup that cost them the game. It did. It definitely cost them the game. I agree with you. Like, Wendell Carter Jr. got 3 or 4 major offensive rebounds in the paint, and he got fouled on 2 of them, had 4 points from that, 4 free throws that he made, and another possession, they were able to get a 3. He kicked it out. They got a 3. They didn't score on one of the offensive rebounds, but like playing that small ball lineup, it doesn't make sense. Put Kel'el Ware out there when they have a huge lineup. Like, I understand if it's a team that's also playing small ball, but I don't think Spo made the best decision either. D Chang says Davion played well. He played extremely well. I'm happy that he was able to facilitate the way he did tonight. I wasn't expecting that. So, yeah, the Miami Heat are 0-1. Not a great start to the season, even though it was a fun game. We had an opportunity to win this game, but the Miami Heat lose, and they have a pretty tough schedule to start. The Miami Heat are going to be playing next the Memphis Grizzlies on the road on Friday. That should be a winnable game. Ja Morant, I'm not sure if he is going to be healthy. I know Scottie Pippen Jr. is going to be out. I know another player just got recently injured as well. I forgot who it was. Who just got hurt on their team? Someone just got hurt on their team. If you know, let me know in the chat. Let's see. I am not sure who it was. Who is it? Let's take a look at their injury report. Oh, Ty Jerome. He's going to be out for 4 weeks. So they picked up Ty Jerome. Scottie Pippen Jr. is going to be out as well. So Ty Jerome kicked the Miami Heat's ass during the playoffs last year when he was on the Cavs. So good to see him out. But that should be a winnable game for the Miami Heat. Otherwise, going back to their schedule, they are going to be playing the Knicks in their home opener on Sunday. That's going to be a tough game. They're going to be playing the Hornets, which should be a winnable game. But after that, they're going to be going on a West Coast road trip. They're going to be playing at the Spurs, at Lakers, at Clippers, at Denver. So that's going to be a huge stretch to start the season. So that's why tonight would have been a huge victory on the road. But the Miami Heat have a chance to get their first win of the season on Friday against the Memphis Grizzlies. And I'll be back doing a post-game live show, hopefully after every game this season when applicable. But anyway, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.